Hello everyone, Stewie here, and today I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the Battlefield 4 beta and the changes that will come from that towards the final game. First off, compared to the Battlefield 3 beta, the Battlefield 4 beta had very small amount of problems. If you remember correctly, Battlefield 3 beta had just mountains of horrible game-breaking bugs and hilarity with stretching necks, which did return for Battlefield 4 with the stretching waists, I think it was. But in the Battlefield 4 beta, I think I had a lot more fun and enjoyed the map a lot more actually. I really didn't enjoy Operation Metro all that much past the first few matches. But the Siege of Shanghai does have a lot of problems, which I probably won't be playing it much during the full game because it was our only choice in the beta. It couldn't really, Siege of Shanghai is a very vertical battlefield with lots of rooftops to get onto. It's very different than pretty much any map we've ever seen in Battlefield before, which is very neat, but it does have a lot of problems. Like, snipers are overly useful. They just can get anywhere and snipe anyone, and it's kind of frustrating if you're not being the one sniping. And it includes recon have their laser designator, which they can laser any vehicle and do extreme amounts of damage if they have anyone firing at them, helping them. Very minor amounts of teamwork. They can devastate enemy vehicles. In the final game, only the Javelin and the wire-guided launcher can lock on to laser designations, which is a good thing. You don't want the RPG in small to be able to lock on, because it just gives too much power to the engineer, I believe. Now, some good things about the beta were the graphics were fantastic, like some of the best I've seen in a long time. They're better than Battlefield 3, but not by a huge margin. There are a few things like particle shadows, which add a lot to the look of the game. They're kind of unique, you don't see them a lot in other games, and they look great. I was lucky enough on my hardware to not have any performance issues. I had 50 FPS on high and ultra most of the time. Most of my friends had shit performance. Hopefully that's fixed for the final game. I'm pretty optimistic about that. The game feel is pretty much great. It's the best FPS I've played ever. Best modern FPS. This is not including like Quake and such, because they're pretty much different genres entirely. But the game just feels smooth, and the sprinting has more momentum to it, which feels great, and it just feels great to run around, shoot things. The verticality of the map, I'm not sure if this will translate much into the final game. From what pictures I've seen, it does seem to on most maps, except maybe like Parcel Storm, which is just islands. Can't really do much to that. But it seems lots of tall structures that you can get onto will be a recurring theme in the maps. The bad thing about this is that snipers can get up on any rooftop, and it's almost impossible to predict where they're going to be, and they can piss you off, which happened to me a few times. I'm sure everyone gets a little pissed off at snipers. I'm sure there's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a neat change from the usual system, where it's only very horizontal with a few two-story buildings usually, with most maps in like Battlefield 2 or Battlefield 3. Some of the bad things were I didn't like Levolution. I thought it was fucking annoying. The dust everywhere was a pain in the ass for pilots or anyone trying to shoot past 100 meters. The rubble was the worst place to fight ever. I hated it. I actively avoided that area. I really liked fighting on the tower because you can bring up helicopters and have cool fucking action movie moments and shit. It was the best. I love that stuff. So whenever someone brings down the tower in the first 5 minutes, I was a little disappointed, to say the least. I really think they should have a battle log option to disable Levolution, or at least make it much harder to take down the tower. It should not be possible to take down the tower in the first minute of the game. It's just annoying. The actual graphics of the tower collapsing are pretty good. I mean, they could use some improvement, but I can't say for sure that's what it looks like in the final game, because I have not seen the final game of Siege of Shanghai, so I can't really comment on that. Another problem I have with the beta was, it seems like guns have no recoil. Compared to Battlefield 3, where the guns have lots of kick and they feel very lively, Battlefield 4, they just feel like BB guns. I don't know, I just don't like it. the AK-12 was just a killing machine. It just has no recoil, high rate of fire, and great damage. It's just, it wins like every engagement, and I don't see the balance in that. Hopefully that's changed in the final game, but I wouldn't hold my breath. One thing which is not really a con, but more of just a personal preference, the flight model, I'm not a fan of it. I like the Battlefield 3 flight model, which was almost as good as the Battlefield 2 flight model. The problems with the Battlefield 3 flight model were if you turn too much to the extreme, like 80 degrees, there's no way to recover, no matter how high you are, which is retarded. That's not how it is in real life. That's I don't understand that system. It's the stupidest thing I think I've ever seen in a flight model. And Battlefield 4 has the same thing, but Battlefield 4 has a more, like, it's more like Bad Company 2's flight model, which I didn't like either. I never really flied in Bad Company 2, but I'm getting used to it, but still, it seems a little wonky, which Battlefield 3 flight model seems perfect. I can fly like a fucking god in that thing, but I don't know. It's more of a personal preference. A lot of people complain about the suppression in Battlefield 3. I thought it was a cool system, but it was implemented wrong. But with Battlefield 4, they kind of just removed it altogether. There's barely any suppression, which is good for the people who just want to twitch shoot everywhere, but I'm more of a tactical gaming kind of guy, like how I play Arma a lot. But I think they should have changed suppression so not there's a cone of fire. Another thing, I hate cone of fires in video games. I think it's the stupidest thing ever. I think where my crosshair aims, the bullet should go with drop and wind and such, obviously, but I think it's annoying to have cone of fire. But if the suppression was changed to move your aim down sights or your crosshair around, I think it would be way better, unless people complain, because you can easily tell when you're being suppressed rather than just a little blur on the screen, that was a good point. You can never really tell unless you were really familiar with it. Now I'm going to go through the Battlefield blog for the Battlefield 4 feedback and what they're changing for the final game. I'll throw out some the key ones that I think and most important. I'll let you see if they made a good improvement from the beta. Reduced and rebalanced the full auto accuracy based on rate of fire for all automatic weapons to balance low rate of fire weapons. Yes, this is good. This means AK-12, which has a really high rate of fire, can't snipe people from 200 meters out. It was kind of ridiculous how that gun was just good at long range, good at short range, just great. It seems like they're really nerfing it a lot, which is what it needed. Portable ammo packs now reload 2 magazines of bullets instantly and up to a total of 4 magazines per pack over time. This is good. Ammo packs were fucking useless. First thing I did was to get the support and go for the ammo box, because you can get rockets back from that. You can get anything you want. Grenades, anything. But the ammo packs only gives you magazines, which is kind of useless in a team play environment with lots of gadgets and lots of explosives. So it kind of doesn't make any sense. I don't even know why that's even in the game. I think it should just be an ammo box. Increase the damage of the Stinger and Igloo to 3 hits to kill attack choppers. Was 25%, now it's 35%. This is a welcome change. I used the Stinger quite a lot in the beta. It was fun to use, but it just did no damage. It took 4 rockets to take down a chopper if it wasn't being repaired, which was ridiculous. The only good thing about it was the mobility hit that you get whenever you hit it, which means they usually crashed if they were near a building or such. But if the pilot was good, then you pretty much never take him down. You just annoy him for a while, so this is great. RPG-7 and small can no longer lock on to laser-designated targets. It was unauthentic and not balanced. Yes, I agree with that. I already talked about this, but I'm glad that's being changed. All laser-designated missiles now do a maximum of 90% damage to attack and scout helicopters, down from 100%. This is good, because the stupidest thing in the beta was being locked on by a laser. I mean, had an RPG fired at you, locked on, and you didn't know it was about to kill you. And it would go from 100% to 0%, which was bullshit. I've seen about everyone complain about that, and it's good that they're changing it. But I would say reduce even more from 90%, maybe like 80, 75%, which is still really high, because if you get hit that much damage and you don't land immediately, you're probably fucked anyways. But at least you get a chance to bail. And that about wraps it up. Hopefully the other issues I have with the game will be fixed or changed from the final game. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I really hope. I think it'll improve the game a whole lot. Battlefield 4 comes out on 10/29/2013, which is October 29th. Pretty much every platform, major platform, PC, 360, PS3, and the new next-gen consoles will get also a release. If you buy the 360 or PS3 version, you can get an upgrade for $10 for the next gen. I will obviously be buying it on PC because I'm a PC gamer. I don't really like consoles. I can't stand controllers. And that's about it. Well, see you next time.